So there is no question that Fallout 76 is going to be a very different Fallout than what we are used to, and with that, many questions have arose from Fallout players like myself. How will this multiplayer-based Fallout game affect solo players who like to experience the game in their own way, without the presence of other players? With Bethesda's Fallout 76 E3 reveal, they somewhat addressed some of the concerns with single player, but generally just ignored the topic altogether. In this video, I'm going to be going over everything we currently know about Fallout 76's single player aspect and other key things we have learned from the recent interviews. So if you guys do go on to enjoy this video or find it helpful, make sure you like, subscribe, and let's get right into the video. Now, in my previous videos of me talking about Fallout 76, there has been an ongoing question throughout the comment section, and that is, how is single player going to be? I know a lot of people are really concerned about that, and a lot of people don't really like the fact of multiplayer being in a Fallout game, but myself, I personally think it's a cool change that could actually be really beneficial for all of us. It could be a really cool experience. It gives us the ability to be able to play with our friends and even YouTubers playing with subscribers. It just opens up a ton of new possibilities for content. At Bethesda's Fallout 76 E3 reveal, Todd Howard did say that you have the ability to play solo, but you're still going to be in the presence of other players that are in your game. Now, unfortunately for some, he did say in a recent interview that there is no way to actually be completely by yourself.
You can play solo, but a lot of people were asking me, it's like, can I play offline?
You cannot.
So Fallout 76 is going to be a completely multiplayer Fallout, but I still do believe that solo players will still be able to have the ability to enjoy the game and still have all the experiences that they normally would, but with the aspect of more people. And in a recent interview with GameSpot, Todd Howard did say this.
Touching on Fallout 76, a lot of people are gonna, you have this new vision, you're coming at it from a new angle, but there's still people who, they know what they want from a Fallout game,
Sure.
even if you're presenting this new perspective on it. So for those people like me who, I like the idea of a multiplayer Fallout game, but I kind of still, there's a voice in my mind wondering if there, as someone who likes the classical Fallout experience, will I be catered to properly? So for someone who knows classic Fallout 3 for example, onwards, will those people be able to get that kind of experience out of a multiplayer Fallout game like this?
Well, I can't answer that and say absolutely for every Fallout player, because there's so many things in a Fallout 3 or a 4 or New Vegas or the old ones. There's so many parts of those that to say this is what a Fallout fan likes.
Right.
I see all types. So the heavy NPC quest and dialogue system, like, it clearly doesn't have that. Watching a lot of people play it on a Twitch or a Mixer or whatever, the stuff they're doing a lot, which is exploring and leveling up and finding areas and finding stories, it has tons of that.
Right.
So if they're like that part of it and just doing that on their own, it's, it really tickles that. It is different, but it feels like when you sit down and play it, it feels like Fallout 3 or 4,
Right.
but it has a little bit of a different loop because you run into other players. You don't know what they're going to do.
Right.
And that, to us, once we started doing it, is very exciting.
I will say releasing a Fallout game kind of moving away from the whole story mode aspect and just completely focusing on exploration and finding new things is a very bold move for Bethesda. And I think this whole multiplayer aspect is going to be somewhat kind of similar to the whole GTA 5 online scene, where you can still basically play by yourself, but you just are going to be in the presence of other players, except despite the whole story aspect of being able to explore new locations and find different little quests and all those different types of things. I just want to be clear, I'm not comparing Fallout 76 to GTA 5, I just noticed a similarity.
I'd say is, clearly we're fans of other franchises or things, and I understand some of the anxiety in terms of when there is a new entry, you don't want that to be a missed opportunity. Like, people like what they like. And so we kind of keep that in mind too, but as developers and creators, we like to try new things,
Right.
and this is one of them.
Now, I can see how this was going to be very disappointing to a lot of Fallout players, that they're not going to get their story-based game like they were expecting, but you do have to respect Bethesda's outlook on this. The fact that they just want to try to do and make new things for us is just a really cool thing to see, because we don't want the Fallout series to just be repetitive and the same thing over and over again, because obviously that gets boring. So by them implementing new playing techniques and strategies, or multiplayer and single player, keeps the game series fresh and new, and who knows, we may find something that we didn't know we liked. But again, like Todd Howard said, it was kind of dangerous moving away from the whole single player aspect of Fallout, but I still do think you're going to be able to enjoy your story in your game.
I guess for a lot of people, for you guys, it's a matter of Fallout 76 doesn't tell you a story, it's about you creating your own story.
There is a story.
Right.
There's a lot of, we want to let the players create story. That's what they already do in our games. That's what a lot of people like about our games. There definitely is a story in this game. You know, what happened to the people outside after the bombs fell? Where are they?
Right.
What are the new threats in the world? How do you solve that? And our designers have done a really, really good job with it, and they've had put in a very tricky situation of how do we do the things we like to do, but all of the humans are real people.
Bethesda did say that the majority of the quest, all the information isn't necessarily given to you from another person talking to you. It's actually going to be from, you know, holotapes, terminals, and other ways of communication like that. And you have to rely on yourself, and I guess if you're playing with friends, to actually find out and you know, develop ways to finish that quest and move on to the next one. Now, that is kind of confusing, but it makes me wonder how long this is actually going to be fun for, you know? This type of style of gameplay of just finishing a quest, moving on to the next, and so on, discovering new locations. How long is this actually going to, you know, feel new and fresh? I trust that Bethesda is going to implement a new and fun and not, you know, Preston Garvey repetitive, sending you on missions to liberate a new settlement, that type of repetitive. I trust that they're not going to be able to do that, but I am still somewhat concerned. The story is said to be focused on the first survivors that left the vault the first 25 years after the bombs dropped, and it's going to be kind of focusing on them.
Quests are given out largely through holotapes, notes, terminals, and the story's very organic. It's the story of the survivors that went out before you the first 25 years after the bombs dropped. So you'll engage in their story. We added a lot of holotapes to this game. You'll hear a lot of audio. You will, of course, be able to, so the story's actually rich in a way because you'll be able to hear it as you continue to quest along and enjoy the experience in a way we haven't done before.
By relying on real-life players to make the game enjoyable is also a really dangerous tactic as well, but, you know, we've seen in past multiplayer games that people can be really, really toxic. If you go back and look at GTA 5 Online, you can see that whole situation. I just don't really want that to be the whole Fallout scene, but I know there's always going to be those type of people who just want to go out and ruin people's day and, you know, maybe grief their bases or whatever like that, but it sounds like something that you're just going to have to deal with. There is said to be a sort of bounty type system for players who are known for griefing bases, or just some type of reward system if you kill them. I don't know whether that being bottle caps or XP, but hopefully there is some sort of incentive to killing bad players or just players known for just trolling or doing other things like that, and kind of negates them and kind of keeps them at bay. Now, by this, I'm not saying that I'm against the whole player versus player conflict aspect of Fallout 76. I'm excited to see what it's going to be like to actually, you know, team up with your friends, build a huge base, and get into a conflict with another team, and just have a whole player versus player just battle out to see who wins, and, you know, your team, can you rise to the tops of your match? I'm just hoping that Fallout 76 is not going to get stale very quickly, because Fallout 4 did have a very good replay value to it. If you played and finished the game one way, there was another way to do it. So hopefully Fallout 76 has that same replay value and it doesn't get stale really quickly and doesn't get boring. Think about just walking through the wasteland and running into a group of raiders, but instead of it being raiders, those group of raiders are actually just a group of real people that you are going to have a full-on conflict with. I just think there's a lot of potential. So basically what I'm getting at is that I understand the disappointment of some solo Fallout players when they heard that Fallout 76 is going to be having no single player, but with that being said, I still think you should still be positive about the game and not just disregard it and just think that it's going to be a really bad game, because I still think you are going to have the ability to have the fun that you wanted to have in the base of a single player Fallout game. I still think you have all the opportunity to, you know, go out, explore, find quests, find new locations, and do all the same things that you could have before, but just now there's going to be people in your game that, you know, may sometimes mess with you and all that type of stuff, but I still think you're going to have a positive experience for the most part. Like Todd Howard said in his interview, people do like what they like, but adding this new Fallout game is going to expose us to a ton of new aspects of Fallout that we never would have expected. But that is pretty much all I have for you today, guys. Hopefully you did enjoy this video or find it helpful. If you guys do want to see some more Fallout 76 news and just content in general, make sure you put it in the comment section. Also, I want to hear what your guys' opinion is on this whole only multiplayer aspect in Fallout 76. But if you guys did enjoy this video, make sure you guys like, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.